Everyone on YouTube, everyone on Facebook, and everyone on Instagram. I hope everyone is having a great day. Um, it is, again, another absolutely gorgeous day in Florida. You guys can see, I don't know, can you see? On YouTube, you can kind of see. It is warm. I just put the shirt on because it is 92 degrees outside and it's a little humid. So, um, we have not had the shirt on a lot today, and it's warm, but we have a breeze going through here. You can kind of see in the trees right there. That really helps keep the humidity down. It's just the heat, and it feels great. I absolutely love it. Anyway, all this week I'm doing recounting stories from my Tail of the Dragon trips and trying to psych everyone else up for this awesome trip that the Viper Club does every year. And we have anywhere from about 80 to 150 Vipers that show up, and we have an absolutely fantastic time. And I'll give you guys some of the basics. Um, Tail of the Dragon is actually a very small portion of the drive that we do. Drives plural. The uh, The best road in the U.S. obviously is Foothills Parkway. Second best is Cherry Skyway. We also do trips over to Fontana. We do all these other roads. There's Devil's Triangle. There's a whole bunch. Tail of the Lizard. You guys probably don't know that one. If you want to know where that is, let me know. There's Klingman's Dome, which is now called what's it called? Key Wohai, which is they changed it back to the original Cherokee name, which is cool because that was originally their land. So fine. And so there's all these different drives, and the groups split up, and we have three different groups. We have the picture takers who stop at all the overlooks, and they'll take pictures of their car or the beautiful valleys or the mountains or whatever, and it's absolutely gorgeous up there. So there's no fault for them for getting really great shots. Then you have the quick group, and these folks do what we like to call spirited driving, and they're maybe 1 or 2 miles an hour over the speed limit, and really enjoying the drive. And that's usually the big group. That's probably 75-80% of the group. And then we have what's called the Batshit Crazy group. And this group started a long time ago. Hey, Haley, speaking of Batshit Crazy group, there you go, right there. This group started, I don't know, they've been doing Tail of the Dragon for 20 years. So I'd say the BSC started probably 19 years ago. I'm just guessing. I don't know. So on these trips, normally I was when I first started going down there in, let's see, I've been going since 2009 or 2010. I think my first trip was 2009, and I've been with the quick group, and that was always fun. Learning the roads and hanging out with my friends and getting great pictures and going to lunch with my friends and all this. And it was great driving. And like I said, the roads, they're just insanely scenic. It's not even funny how beautiful it is. There were times when it was raining and pouring and we're all just kind of cruising, trying to get to the lunch stop and, nothing fancy. But then there's other times where, it's beautiful weather like this and you're having a great time with your friends. So on one of the trips, and I think this is probably, I'm sure the statute of limitations is up on this. This is probably 8 or 9 years ago. And I believe I still had my Gen 3. I believe. That's why I think it's that long ago. And this is going to be a 2-part story. So there's the first part today, and then tomorrow I'll do the second part. I was with the quick group, and we were running behind because we had originally planned to go up to Klingman's Dome, Key Wohai, and meet up there. And then that would be kind of a rest stop for 20 minutes, 10 minutes. And then we would go back to lunch. I can't remember if we were eating at Fontana or if we were eating at Tobacco. Anyway, I think it was Fontana. So we were going to all meet up at the parking lot up there. And then, gather everyone because people get separated and there's other cars and stuff up there. So wait for them, and then everyone heads back. We were running really far behind because going up to Klingman's Dome slash Kiwo High, we got caught behind a CRV and we had like 40, 45 cars behind the CRV begging them to use a pull off. And they're doing like 9 miles an hour all the way up there. And it's absolutely painful. And it's disappointing when you know that if I had an F40 behind me, I would absolutely use one of the pull offs and let him jam ahead. It's very easy. A lot of people don't use their mirrors. These people were obviously not using their mirrors. We were way behind. Now, the batshit crazy group had already gone up. They're so far ahead of everyone. Whatever. So there's a parking lot right at the state line in North Carolina and Tennessee, and it's a big parking lot. And Brent, the guy who was in charge of the event that year, who's from the Tennessee club, super cool guy, he pulled off, and the majority of the cars pull off. And we're like, hey, we're running a little late, so this is going to be our turnaround. We're not going to go up to Klingman's Dome, which has this very cool. You hike up a little ways. It's about a half-mile hike, but it's pretty steep. And then they have this really great overlook that was built, and with it being like the third tallest point east of the Mississippi, you have this incredible like 360 view. It's very, very cool. So I was kind of bummed we weren't going up to Klingman's. That would have been cool. We stopped at the parking lot, and I was only a couple of cars behind Brent, so I'm parked up towards the front of the parking lot. The rest of the road, it's one road that goes up to Kiwo High. So Brent comes over to me and he goes, hey, Kevin, you know how to get to Klingman's Dome, right? And I said, yeah, Brent, it's one road up and the same road back. And he's like, okay, cool. Can you go get the super fast guys and have them come down here and meet us, and then we'll all go to lunch together? And I'm like, I think about this for a second, and I go, all right, I will go get them, but don't you effing leave me, because I do not want to be stuck with those crazy guys. I barely know the roads here. If I'm stuck with those guys, it's going to be a very long day for me. And by the time I find you, whenever I find you, if I survive, I will absolutely let you know. There will be scarring. So Brent kind of laughs us off, and he's like, yeah, we'll wait for you. No problem. And I said, okay. And my friend Anil was there, and Anil has this really great, he did have this really great Gen 2. His license plate was loud, and it was no joke. That's exactly what it was. And Anil's like, hey, I'll go with you. And, that way you have backup if there's any problems. I was like, all right, cool. So I look back at Brent one more time, and I'm like, oh, this isn't going to go so good. I could feel it. I knew that it was not going to go like I had hoped. So I get in my car and I hammer up to Klingman's Dome. I hammer up to that parking lot. I have to do this quick and get back because I don't want to risk getting stuck with these guys. I go up there. There's probably 6, maybe 8 cars. Let's see. We had Matt, obviously. We had Mike B. We had Scott L. We had Ronnie. We had Mike S. We had a couple of other people. And just as an example for the Batshit Crazy group, like Matt had, at the time, he had a 1,500 horsepower Gen 3 twin turbo Viper from Underground Racing. I mean, it's disturbing. That's how these guys roll. They're like, oh, more horsepower, not enough. So get up there, I see those guys, and I'm like, hey, you guys, they're all waiting for us back at the state line parking lot. We're all going to go jam to lunch. And they're like, oh, okay, cool. And they take their time and they get back in their car. Meanwhile, Anil and I are like right at the exit, the merge exit, going back down to Klingman's. And those guys get in their car and they pull out. And now I hammer back down because I don't want to lose the main group. I don't want to get stuck with these guys. We're flying down to Klingman's, from Klingman's to the state line parking lot. We get to the state line parking lot, and it is like Paris Hilton's head. It is just completely empty. And I'm like, oh, shit. So now I'm stuck with the Batshit Crazy guys for the rest of the day. And I don't remember. I think it was Mike S who pulled up next to me and was like, "Hey, I thought everyone was here." And I was like, "Yeah, I thought they were gonna wait for me. Brent's a dick for not waiting for us, but that's okay. I guess I'm gonna stay with you guys." And he's like, "Oh, okay. Well, let's go have some brr," and he just takes off, and everyone launches out of there. And these guys are all driving like they're trying to win something. And so I spent the rest of the day with just my left calf, like all like Lou Ferrigno vasculared out, just hands sweat, just pouring sweat, even with the AC on. I'm doing all I can to keep up with these guys. It reminded me of the first time, and I'll tell that story. That'll be the last one I tell, I think. The very first time I went down to the Dragon and I was trying to follow Mike B. And these guys are just going mock Jesus. And they're seriously, I don't know if they think there's prize money wherever we're going and whatever. And I finally realized, and Nil's keeping up with me too. So I know Nil's working back there as well. And we got stuck with these guys. Now I think we're going back to Fontana, but we're obviously not. And we take an entirely different road and we're going somewhere else. And I have no clue where we're going, but I don't want to lose these guys because I don't want to get stuck, wandering around the hills of Tennessee and North Carolina with, no idea where I'm going on a car that's going through gas like crazy, especially now driving with these guys, just maxing out the car, and it goes through a lot of fuel. So that was a fun one, and that was my initiation into the Batshit Crazy group. I realized that I could actually hang with those guys, and it was fun to drive with them, but it was a lot more work. It wasn't, there wasn't as much sightseeing, there wasn't as much, camaraderie while driving. Once you got out of the car, it was all high fives and touching tips and all that stuff. It was great. But when you were driving, you were very, very focused on driving, and you were maxing out the car on these incredible roads and being super, super safe. All these guys are incredible drivers. I trust any of them. So being with a group like that was actually a lot of fun for me. And I've been with the Batshit Crazy group ever since. So that's how I started. Now there's a second half to this that I'll do tomorrow afternoon. And it's not quite as violent, and it's not quite as not quite as terrifying as what happened that day that I was initiated into doing that with those guys. Now the Batshit Crazy group is actually a lot of fun. We have a ton of fun. We have a bunch of new people. Some of the older folks have sold their cars and they've moved on, but we have new folks coming in. We have a whole bunch of regulars, and it's a ton of fun going with those guys. Just to give you an example of Batshit Crazy versus Quick. Batshit Crazy will do the Dragon to Killboy, back, pass the Quick group, turn around and catch the Quick group before they get to Killboy. So if you're wondering about relative speed, that's the kind of speed we're talking about here. So you better be on a 1100 MotoGP or a Ducati Monster or something if you want to catch those guys. They're moving out. So there you go. That's how I got into the Batshit Crazy group. And you guys, I'm sure. Let's see. Hopefully, Mike B sees this and he comments on it, and I'll send it to Scott and to Mike S, and hopefully they can back me up on this. It was actually turned out to be a very, very fun day. It was just very terrifying for me. So hopefully you guys are enjoying this, and we'll definitely do more pictures and video this year. We have a dedicated photographer and someone who's going to do video for us. So that'll be a lot of fun, and we'll have a lot more memories that we can post up and things like that. So that will be a ton of fun. It should be a really good group. And I was just checking the weather about an hour ago, It looks really nice. Rain this coming weekend and Monday and Tuesday, and then super sunny skies. Hopefully, no tornadoes and gnarly storms and stuff. So we're hoping for really nice weather. I probably just jinxed it, but that's all right. So that's the first part of the story. Like I said, tomorrow afternoon I'll do the second half, and you guys can piece these together and hopefully enjoy them. So I hope everyone is having a fantastic day. I know there were some really gnarly storms in the last few days. Everyone, please be safe with that. And if you have any questions, comments, whatever, definitely put them down there. Shoot me a text, whatever. We'll get back to you guys as quick as I can. And don't forget to show someone that you love them today. Give them a kiss on the cheek. Give them a kiss on the tip of their nose. Hold their hand. Give it a squeeze. It's really important for them, but it is far more important for you, and you. All right. Thanks, everyone. I will catch you tomorrow. Have a great day. Cool.